are these guys matched up? I guess that's the question. Why are these guys even matched up, and why are we not allowing them to build up a little bit more?
If you didn't ask it, Derek, I was about to ask you, brother, because to me, there is no reason for these guys to be fighting at this time with so many other people in the featherweight division just looking for a scrap. It must be people are not answering the phone call when Uncle Dana hits them up, because this is two fighters who I can see going a very long way in the UFC. Folks, if you tuned into the Twitch stream, I was breaking this one down and the one before specifically because not a lot of people know about these fighters, but you need to. Very talented, very skilled, very young, and a very long time in this game. Their longevity is massive, so they're going to be around for a while. We say it all the time that we highlight the stars of tomorrow today, and these are two of them. This is another one, Derek. We might be on contention, but I can see this one being a coin toss because those odds, they're still close. They might not be as close as the other one, but this one's going to be a very, very fun fight. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you this much, man. I think that you have on one side a guy who has really risen to the task at hand in Lerone Murphy, who didn't particularly look the most UFC ready upon his UFC debut, but has quickly silenced all of that in his last couple of outings. And then you got Josh Culibao, who in my opinion has just been a massive overachiever, a guy who gets counted out time and time again. And then look at his last fight against Melsik Bagdasaryan, who had a stunning performance this past weekend, right? And he got the upset win, man. He was getting it kind of put on him. And then all it takes is one mistake, jumped on his back and choked him out. That's the thing about Culibao. This guy will not go away. He's very similar, in my opinion, and I don't even want to say like based on looks or anything because it's not. It's on fight style. He's very similar to me to a Jun Young Park, the Iron Turtle. These guys do not go away, and if you cannot keep up for 15 minutes of non-stop focus, attention, power, speed, all that, you will get taken advantage of. But the difference here, AJ, is I think that Lerone Murphy has gotten a little bit of a gift, and I don't mean gift in a bad way. I think gift in a way of fight style, matchup, right? You look at the last couple of fighters, right? He got thrown into the deep end against Zubaira Tukhugov, and then you got Ricardo Hamas, then Douglas Silva de Andrade, and then Makwan Amirkhani. AJ, real quick, you don't have to have a correct answer. If you don't, I'll bring the answer right now. But what is the one thing that's in common with pretty much all of those fighters?
Grappling.
That's it, right? Now you fight Josh Culibao, and even though he can submit you and he can grapple, he doesn't lean on his takedowns a lot, right? So you kind of got a favorable matchup. Now it's like, okay, one less thing to think about. My man Murphy got taken out 10 times in his last two fights, bro. You're gonna be happy to not have to deal with that. The question is, does Culibao say, I did my homework, I know you kind of struggle with takedowns, let's shift the game plan? Or do we see classic Josh Culibao swinging and banging, switching stances, popping them with feints and big shots?
I think we see classic Culibao right here, Derek. The one thing I like most about Culibao, yeah, he's flashy. He has a switching stance. He has pop on his shots. He can read things. He can set up traps. He knows all of this, the basics and how to get those done very efficiently. But what I like most about him is he brings that immigrant mentality. And I know he's from Australia, so I don't know if it's the same kind of thing they say over there. But here, that he fights like he has something to prove, like he has something to fight for. And the dirtier and more of a dog fight this becomes, Culibao steps to the occasion. And that's where you said overachiever. You nailed it on the head, Derek, because that is him. When the going gets tough, Culibao bites down in his mouthpiece and says, yes, please. Like, this dude is a fun fighter to watch. And that's what makes this one hard because Lerone Murphy, he has the skills, the ones and twos to get things done, be fluid on the feet. But so does Culibao, man. And they're going to go toe to toe. And Culibao, at least what history has proven, this guy does not falter, man. He will be there consistently. You got to put him out. You got to put him to sleep, or else he will be standing there against you in the entire cage the entire time. Now, do I think Culibao is going to go for the shot? No. But if he does get down there, does Lerone Murphy have the skills and at least the time worked on to be able to stand up? Because we know Culibao is as good as he is on the ground. We wouldn't consider him a ground specialist. He's not going to be able to hold a lot of people down. He can, but at least in his fights, we haven't seen him do it much. Has Lerone Murphy worked on the skills enough to be able to do that, Derek, to get up off the ground after being controlled? What do you think?
I think we saw it, bro, in the Makwan Amirkhani fight. He got held down the entire first round. Entire first round was held down. Second round, Makwan goes for the shot, gets kneed in his dome. That's one way of takedown defense, right? But the point is he wasn't able to get submitted by an Amirkhani who submits a lot of guys, especially when he gets that much control time. So, I mean, we'll see. There's holes in both of these guys' games, of course. The one thing that I will say, man, that it could be tricky. I really do like Kulibao's how he works off of the stance switches. He's constantly shifting back and forth, throwing weird looping chained shots together. Shots where you're like, where did that come from? That shouldn't have come from that angle, but it does, and it works, right? But then Lerone Murphy, if I had to make an assessment, I think Murphy is the more polished technical striker of the two. And if he catches angles, I think he will be able to land the more effective strikes against Culibao. Only problem is Culibao is down to make the fight ugly. And Lerone Murphy, ugly fights don't quite go as hand in hand as Culibao ugly fights do. So with that being said, man, once again, London, AJ, I got a decision. Lerone Murphy. Let's go, baby. How you see it?
I can see where the bias he plays affect, Derek. The hometown crowd might be chanting for Murphy, but I'm rocking with Culibao. I'm not going the 1200 submission. I'm not going it. I can see it, but I'm actually going to take the TKO plus 375, open up the card in enemy territory. Round 3, a late one, Derek.
All right, fair enough.